Okay, just provide your details in the chat box. We'll start our class in a few minutes. All right, I hope everyone is for Microsoft Fabric, Azure Cloud. Anyone here is just looking for a data factory or a Power BI specific tools? Anyone? So that I can guide you people. So I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes.
If you have any questions, doubts, so you can just keep with you. I'll answer all your doubts and questions once the class is complete. Okay. All right. Larry, is my voice is clear?
Yes.
All right. So please share your details so that I can share you the documents, the course content, what exactly we are doing it, and what are the topics that we are covering in our next 2 months of class, so that you can go through that in detail level. Okay. So what are the topics will come? All this document I'm going to share with you guys. So please try to provide your details in your chat boxes. So this course is completely for the cloud, Microsoft Cloud. You can say it is a Azure Cloud. Yes, we are going to use that Azure Cloud. Yes, definitely a Fabric. All right. So please provide your details, and we'll start in a few minutes.
Quick question.
Yes.
Just okay. So, what are the prerequisites for this course? So, means you expect and the resource to have certain what level of knowledge already, or so. How's that in the Azure area?
I'll tell you that. So Uh, See, not only in terms of your Microsoft Fabric, in terms of any BI or data engineering tools. Okay, so you must have a basic foundation of your SQL, no doubt. So many institute they may say you just it is a UI based. No, it is not a UI based. Yes, definitely some level of Microsoft product. You take any product of Microsoft, whether it is your MSBA, which is from last 20 years we are working with this tool, whether you take Power BI or you can take Azure BI. You have SSIS model, SSES, SSRS, ETL, then you take data factory model, okay, or any data warehouses. Now Microsoft come across with Microsoft Fabric, also a good environment, different environment. Even though you have a powerful cloud environment with Azure, we got the feature of Microsoft Fabric SaaS services. What is services? SaaS services, software as a service, integrated one tool, integrated one tool. So definitely you need to have a basic SQL knowledge for a prerequisite. We are not expecting to have a programming knowledge. Definitely I'm going to cover the PySpark, a SQL language, or Spark SQL. Definitely I'll cover wherever it required. Definitely I'll cover because it's a very big lengthy course, a 2 months of course. So people who are interested going for a data engineering, for them definitely you need to have basic knowledge on either the PySpark or a SQL. So you have integrated here with a Apache Spark notebooks. If you have a basic knowledge on SQL also, you can crack the notebooks. Even you don't know the Python, you don't know the PySpark, not required. So that is what Microsoft always interact to. Even you are a non-technical people, even though you're not technical background, you always interact with the GUI method, graphical user interface method. Not only for a technical people, even for a non-technical people who come from different degree background or some BPO background, BPS project background, they can easily learn their products. So that is what it is more demanded in the market right now compared to other tools, and it is more easy to learn the new technologies in Microsoft. Any product, I'm not talking about only the Fabric product. You take any product in that easily we can learn. People who work with the technical, that compatibility you have. People who don't have the knowledge on technical part, they can easily do the same kind of work with the UI model. Even for a SQL, people who know the SQL, they can do by using writing some basic command. People who know the languages, DDL language, DML language, data select language, they can work with commands. So that is what it is a more demanded right now in the market, and more things are there inside a cloud. What is cloud? We'll discuss now in detail level. Okay. So whoever is joined just now, please share your details. So I'm going to share you the recordings as well as the document. Yes. So we'll discuss about the architecture, what is a fabric and all. We'll discuss later. These all things. Okay. Before that, let me go through my profile. So first we are going to see demo one, then we plan for a demo two. Okay, it will be more interesting. Here you will see lot of things, lot of will come into the picture, like practically. Okay, practically we'll do here. So many things will come into the picture here practically, and here you mostly we do as a detail level. What is a BI and other stuff, data engineering, fabric, cloud, everything we'll discuss in this demo one. Okay, so in this practically, I am going to show you how to create the account, how to work with the cloud without having installation of anything in your system. So market is right now is cloud. You go Azure cloud, you go Fabric, you go other clouds. So Fabric and Azure is both are same. A difference between Fabric and Azure, what is that? Both are Microsoft product. There's no difference, but there are few limitations are there inside Azure. Why we are moving towards the Fabric? Okay, that I'll give you the detailed analysis, detailed information about this both. So people who interested Azure, yes, definitely we're going to cover that as well. People who are already into a Microsoft Fabric, this is a course content. Okay, or people who only just want to go with Azure. My requirement is some people already working, they just want to understand the Azure, and there are few services under the Azure. For them separately, I'll take a classes for that. Okay. So here also we are going to consider as a data engineer. In Fabric also we use everything integrated in one single tool. Here we have individual tools. Remember this. Here we have a Fabric single integrated tool. What is that single integrated tool? Uniform tool. We'll see that. So these all are integrated one Fabric platform. So earlier what happened? So before going to back, so I'll just give you my background where and what I'm doing right now. So I have almost 10 plus years of experience into IT. I started working with SQL. That is my experience, which I'm sharing with you guys because the other tools, other institute may provide you just UI. Okay. So it is not just UI. You also have to work with SQL. If you know basic SQL, at least you can survive in the company. You are going for a data engineering. If you know basic SQL, you can work on ad hoc request. Okay. You can work on ad hoc request. What is that ad hoc request? What is the support? What is the CR? What is the tools? Going further, we'll see. Okay. So my experience into multiple domains. I was working currently on telecommunications, working with multiple clients. So APAC region and EMEA region countries I'm covering it. So what is a telecommunication project? I'll tell you later that. So as a team lead, I'm working with a digital one of the company in Hyderabad. So as a team lead assistant manager, I'm working in that company, handling two different teams, cloud and on-premises. And we mostly all on-premises we have migrated to cloud platform. Okay. So I have a good experience with the Wipro. I was work with Wipro long back, and I was associated with IBM also. So I was working with one of the project called Henkel there. So that is a supply chain project. In that supply chain project, there are orders, customers, inventories. This all will come. Okay, completely a market-based products. But here it is completely a different telecommunications, users, mobile numbers. Okay, the person who do recharge, the person who download the song. Whenever somebody call to that person, he will be able to hear some songs. This all information we gather, we process, we transform, we provide them insights to the customers. Okay, so before going to this one, definitely this is like a BA. Okay, without having the data knowledge, there is no AI again. Okay, so before going to the BI process, anyone know what is BI exactly? What is BI process or BA? Anyone know that? So then we'll see what is the Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so we'll discuss that Microsoft Fabric. What is Azure? We'll discuss that. Like what is the Microsoft Azure? Okay, we'll discuss that in detail level. So before going to this one, we need to understand some basic things about the BA. Okay, so this all you are going to do inside the BI process only. Okay, then we'll see what are the services providing by your Azure and Fabric. Okay, clouds, and we'll see inside a Fabric what are the capabilities. What is the capabilities inside your Microsoft Fabric? Okay, so the different capabilities that we have inside your Fabric we'll discuss in detail level, and then we'll see practically how to create the Fabric Microsoft Fabric account. Okay, Microsoft Fabric account, and we'll see how to create the Microsoft Azure account. Okay, these are the basic things we'll see under your practical session, and we'll see one project, basic small project or mini project, you can say a mini project inside your demo tool. Okay, we'll discuss that in detail level on a Fabric level. Fabric with combination of Azure, with combination of Azure, we'll discuss that. So before that, you need to understand the exact process, what exactly we do. Okay, you go Fabric, you go Azure, you go AWS, you go some other market. Okay, there are different cloud providers. There are different cloud providers we have. So anyone know what is the different cloud providers are providing the services apart from the Microsoft? Anyone know?
Amazon and AWS and
Amazon Web Services.
Google.
Google Cloud, the GCP, we call AWS, the Microsoft, IBM, some other companies. But as a booming right now in terms of Microsoft, you can see a lot of opportunities. AWS, Amazon, and GCP, Google Cloud. These are the primary competitor for your Microsoft. Okay, so this fabric is a SaaS services. What is a SaaS? SaaS is nothing but all kind of softwares as a service. So what is that softwares? There are different softwares that we're going to see in detail level, but that all are integrated in one single tool called Microsoft Fabric or OneLake. So this is the architecture of your fabric. This is the architecture of fabric. So that is what the capabilities of this fabric, what they are providing it. The capabilities of this fabric they are providing you, we are going to mostly see on either the data storages, data injections or injections, nothing but your, or you can say as your part of ETL, data injections, and we have a data science that we are going to do by using ML model, or you have some data modeling. So what is modeling? Data modeling is nothing but a kind of semantic model we are going to develop. Then we have the data reports and dashboards. Okay, so these are the primary focus on your fabric. So you are integrating with all your process in terms of data storages. Now again in drill down in terms of data storages, what we are using a data lake, then we have a data warehouse or data lake house, then we have a delta lake. Sir, what is delta lake? We'll discuss, don't worry, I'm just giving you a list of the things that we have inside the capabilities of your fabric. Okay, so we have a lake house, the lake house process, delta lake process. We have a warehouse, we have a fabric, Microsoft Fabric databases, we have a KQL databases. These are the storages in your terms of the storages capability inside your Microsoft Fabric. In terms of data injections, what we are using it. In terms of data injections, you are using your data pipelines that is similar your Azure Data Factory. Similar like your Azure Data Factory. That is a very powerful tool. If you know this tool, lot of opportunities there. Okay, I'm not just saying on the fly. You go first and search on Data Factory. So that is integrated as a pipeline inside your Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so why all these things? You may be having a question, sir, what you are writing all these things? These are the integrated inside your fabric. I'll show you now. Okay, so very, very interesting. I'll show you now. So then we have a concept, people who know the data flow concept. There is a data flow Gen 1, experience with the data flow Gen 1 and Gen 2. Okay, so what is Gen 1, Gen 2? Don't worry about that. I'm going to show you people who come with a reporting background. They might be knowing the Power Query operations. Okay, Power Query transformations. So people who come with a programming, sir, I'm interested in writing some Spark notebooks. Yes, definitely. That is also integrated with the PySpark. You can write. You have a SQL, Spark SQL. You can do. You can have a Python. You can write Scala. You have an option. R language. You have an option. Anything. I'm a good at in SQL. I'll write in a Spark SQL. I'm a good at PySpark, the language, a framework with a Python integrated. So anything you can do inside the Spark notebooks. You don't require a separate go for a platform called Databricks. Not required. So that Databricks is also one of the platform which integrated with your Apache Spark. So Microsoft bring with that concept inside your Microsoft Fabric, integrated in one single tool. So you maybe heard about my points like I was always saying like integrated in one single tool. What is the use of that? One simple example I'll give you guys when you go some restaurant. Okay, when you go one restaurant, you may be going for, let's suppose you're going for one restaurant. In that restaurant, you may have a 500 rupees of buffet. In that, you can have your food unlimited or similar kind of food which is costing you almost more than the 1,000 rupees. Which one you choose? Definitely in a 500 rupees, I'm getting a buffet where I can have unlimited with a one multiple varieties of foods. So you can have with this with variety of food with unlimited process. Similarly, if I go individually, let's suppose I want to just take one dishes. I may to have to limited and that also which is required, I will select that only. I cannot elaborate some other services. The similarly, right now in your fabric, you have all your integrated with one capacity, one SKU. This all will run under one capacity, SKU, stocks exchange unit we call. So this all will run under one capacity. It starts with capacity F2 to F204H. So what is this? This is the kind of capacities. So once you purchase one capacity, so generally people who come from the Power BI background, they know what is a Power Pro Premium, right? Premium and some other accounts. So once you purchase that account or F2, F24, F64, whatever it is. So once you purchase this capacity, you can work with any sort of services. What is the services? Services means any sort of softwares you can work. That is up to whatever the limit it is. So that is we are calling as integrated uniform everything inside of one workspace. And it is not required to have a multiple storages, one work lake. OneDrive you have been heard about, right? In generally in our corporates we use OneDrive. But who is the owner of that account? Maybe you're someone is company owner, admin, admin person in company corporates, the one of the person who handling that account. But inside that OneDrive, we are just as a part of user, we are using our data up to 1 GB, 1 TB, right? So that is called OneDrive. The similar kind of picture in terms of fabric tenant, we got one lake. Inside one lake, you can store any limit of data, any size of data to any workspace. What is a workspace? Maybe you maybe heard about a new words. People who come from non-technical background, you may be hearing about a new words definitely. So believe me, this is only the similar words the entire complete data engineering life. Okay, so I'll tell you this architecture. We'll discuss this architecture in detail level again. Let's come back to this one. So so you can integrate your data with a multiple data pipelines ETL, nothing but your factory. You can have a data flow. If you are not at good at in the pipeline activities, you can go with Power Query operations. You have integrated with the Apache Spark notebooks, not required for Databricks. So when you, what is in terms of why I am saying this one? Because if your project is working with only for a data factory, generally when you want to work with a project, example, when you want to work with a project. So earlier what happened for a databases, I'm using the Azure cloud. For other some other storages, I'm using on-premises. For other storages for reporting, I'm using another cloud. Yes, right? The people who are working with the data engineering, or your people working in the your whatever the BI projects, you are using the whether let's suppose you are using some Azure SQL database, you are using this Azure Cloud, right? Azure Cloud. Even if you are using some data warehouse, you are using some Synapse, and similarly, you want to do some kind of reporting and you want to share with the client. You are using some separate cloud, that is a Power BI in case of you want to design some reports and dashboards, right? So you are separately going with another platform called Power BI services, another platform Power BI services, where you are just handling the another cloud where you can hosting your all your reports over here. You are paying separate cost for this one. You are paying separate cost for this one. In case of you are extracting the data from again on premises, a big headache again, because your application is writing every day in on premises, right? Again, this is again big headache. So it is very difficult to manage this is separately, and extracting the data from here and processing. And in terms of report development, I have to go and attach a lot of thing. It is headache. And not only this one, I'll show you the architecture also. So these all are integrated one single tool called Fact. You don't require separate clouds to purchase. Okay. So data, wherever the data is coming from. Example. Okay, let's take example. Your data is in multiple sources. Example. Okay. There's a data in multiple sources. Let's take structured data, semi-structured data, or your applications data, or the REST API data. Maybe data is coming from through URLs also, a JSON format. What exactly we are doing in earlier systems? We are using some ETL platforms. Okay, we are using some ETL platform, whether you're SSIS or Data Factory, some other platform. But in this picture, what exactly you are doing it in this BI process? What we are doing it? We are attaching some tools. What is that? So you are using some generally in terms of data lake. We are first landing the data into the data lake. Then from there, we are doing some analysis. Okay, we are using this analysis, converting into some delta tables. What is the delta tables? I'll tell you later. Okay, some delta tables in your lake house. Okay, some lake house, and from there, what we are doing it, we are moving this data to your what we call warehouse. Okay, a big warehouse. Then from there, we are attaching some semantic models, and finally, what we are doing some reporting part. Okay, we are doing some reporting part. Okay, so from your lake house to warehouse, and from warehouse to you are developing some another module. There is a separate team will be there who is working with the delta semantic models, who is developing the reports are maybe in different formats. So each and everything you have to go through it. You have to process first here, processing the landing the data, or we call as raw data, or in the data lake or data lake house you can say. Then from there we are using some data warehouse. From data warehouse, we are splitting the data again into data marts. Okay. Again, for people who want to work with the reporting part, data analysis they want to do. Okay. People who want to do some data analysis. Again, they are going for other things. Okay. So let's example in data analysis, they you're going to you model some semantic model, or and from semantic model they're going to do the reportings. Okay, reporting and some dashboards. Okay, and then in terms of you are transferring data from lakehouse to your warehouse, maybe they are using some concept called data flow here, called data flow. And from warehouse to this one, again they are using some kind of ETL. Again they are using some pipelines. People who come from a different background like data engineering, again they want to do a big data analysis. They can connect their Spark notebooks here. There's a Spark notebooks. They can connect and they can analysis on this raw data, lakehouse data, or directly from data warehouse. That is nothing but you are and doing some analysis on a big data query, big data workload. Big data workload. In case of you want to do some high level of transformations, or people who want to develop some ML model, they can directly connect again back to this raw data, or they can implement their ML models in terms of your machine learning, AI. They can also connect our ML model. Okay. So similarly, whatever the data you store, we can do analysis, or we can again for semantic model to do. What is semantic model exactly? Nothing but you're developing the relationship between the some tables, fact or dimensions tables. Okay, fact and dimensions tables. You're developing some relationship between this one. Why is required? Because it is easy to work with the reportings. For that, you are using separate cloud. So here you are using what you are doing. You are using separate platform, Power BI platform. So Power BI platform, you are using it either the Power BI desktop, or you are using the Power BI services for hosting your report services, cloud services for hosting your reports. That is all comes under your data analysis, right? Data analysis. Similarly, for data engineering model, we have to go through this one. We have to go through this model. For data engineering, we have to go through this one, right? For data engineering, this all we have to process it. Similarly, whatever your ETL you're using, either your data pipelines you are using here in a Fabric, or you're using your Azure Data Factory pipelines, or you're using the SSIS model. So as data in any format, either is a structure or it is a semi-structure, like a JSON format or XML format, okay, or maybe your other format like Parquet, okay. What is that? Parquet format is another new format which is stored in terms of column wise data storages here, or maybe some other storages coming from different places. So these all are integrated. You don't require separate storages, or you don't require separate ETL tool or data lake house. So there is a new concept are there in data lake house. So earlier, if you remember, earlier we have a concept called databases, right? So what we are doing in databases sources system, we are just extracting the data. We are just storing the data in terms of data warehouse, in terms of SQL Server engine. There is no separate engine. It is. So you need to purchase one license. On that license, you have to store it in data warehouse, and then we are doing a reportings. After that, what happened? We got data lakehouse. So before data lakehouse, we have a data lake. Okay, in this data lake, what we are doing it. So earlier, we are only handling the structured data, right? You're only handling the structured data. In terms of JSON data, in terms of Parquet format of data, it is very difficult to handle it. So whatever the data is there, raw data, we are landing into your data lake first. So any company first we land the data, raw data, natural data into this data lake. Then you are doing some data engineering work. Whether you do some ML model develop, or you just want to load in the data warehouse, doing the reporting, you are doing that. But in earlier systems, very difficult. In earlier system, we need to manage everything in the source level, and you need to transform it first. ETL means extract, transform, and load. But here, first extract it. First extract and load, then do the transformations. So what we are doing here, first extracting the data into the data lake. Extracting the data into a data lake, nothing but loading the data into the data lake. Then we are transforming it. So any file it may be, first we are loading it, then we are doing a transformations part. What data is required for your data warehouse, you're maintaining it. Similarly, what we are doing in this case, whatever the data is there, first land it into a data lake house. So why lake house? What is the use of lake house? Maybe you heard about lakehouse. The lakehouse is nothing but the properties of the data warehouse with the data lake properties. By combining these two properties, by combining data warehouse plus data lake properties, bring as a bring as a data lake house plus this data lake, nothing but data lake house. So it just add a layer called delta layer. This is a layer. What this layer will do, this layer will unlock your rdbms concept. So rdbms concept. So what is that rdbms sql concept? So I am not good at to reading the json file. Are you good at in reading the json file? I'm not good at json file. I'm not good at parquet file. So we are not good at json or parquet file. It is a completely different document wise file. If you give me csv file, I can still read this. Example, let me give you one example. If you understand this example, there is a multiple data we have. You see, this is a parquet file, dot order parquet file. Similarly, if you see, this is my where is a JSON file. So there are multiple documents, multiple arrays that we have. Each document have multiple values. I am not good at reading this file. If you give the same file in this format, I can easily analyze even in the notepad format, or you can give me the same format into the Excel format. I can do the analysis easily. I can do the analysis easily. Similarly, if you give me other format which is not understandable, not easily readable, so this data lake house will enable you the properties of SQL. That is called through delta tables. That is a new feature as integrated in this one. So for this accessing this feature, you don't require to go for Databricks. Microsoft Fabric integrated completely on delta tables. So you have a maybe confusion at this point. Sir, what is delta table, how it stores, what to create, how to create. So don't worry, I'm going to explain you that again. Just remember that point is, if data lakehouse in terms of data lakehouse is nothing but the properties of data warehouse plus the data lake storage. Nothing but a new concept introduced as a in big data terminologies we call as data lakehouse. Okay, so practically I'll show you, don't worry about that. So let's back to this one diagram. So you don't require to go to access such data, big data workload to do this all operations. You don't require separate team. So earlier, what happened? I'm hiring a separate developer for this one, separate developer this one, separate developer this one, and even the right now a lot of jobs on the Spark notebooks. Separate developer I mean, why I'll have, why I'll pay separate, even in terms of services also. Earlier, what happened? I'm paying separate for data engineering, separate cost I'm having, and for Power BI services, even though you want to schedule a report, you have to pay for it. You have to pay the cost for this also, and even for ETL also have to pay separate cost for this one. Even managing the storage also have to pay the cost. So that is what the Microsoft Fabric will enable or give you this all compatibilities or with this all feature inside your Microsoft Fabric as one single uniform tool. You want storages, we'll provide. You want ETL, we'll provide. You want Lakehouse, we'll provide. You want to work with a big data workload with a Spark, Apache Spark notebooks integrated? Yes, we can do. You want to create a clusters on top of this one? You can do that. You want to create your own pool? You can do that. You want to create some ML model, machine learning model? You want to train that model? You can do that. You want to get it a live streaming data? You can do that. You have a data mart separately. You have a databases separately. And even for data analysis, you don't require SSAS model. Generally, Power BI team or reporting team, maybe you come from a different reporting team, you'll go through the SSAS model. And generally, in on-premises, you mostly work with called the SQL Server engine. But Microsoft provide you a powerful engine called Synapse Data Warehouse. Similarly, the other cloud providers are also giving you same kind of architecture, like when you talk about the Amazon S3 buckets they have, or when you talk about the Google, we have a Google Drives. Similarly, we have a Snowflake's data warehouse. Similarly, in terms of Microsoft, we have a Synapse database data warehouse. So here again, you no need to pay separately. So inside one Microsoft Fabric capacity, you can do all kind of process called capacity. Inside one capacity, that is Microsoft giving you capacity F64, that is max high capacity. So how can we get this capacity? Yes, you can get this capacity for a free for 2 months. With these 2 months, we can practice. With these 2 months of free capacity, we can practice. But in real time, we will not go with any free capacities. So these all kind of services we can do inside your Microsoft Fabric. Let me go through the portal. So to work with this portal, okay, to work with this portal, let me back to my notepad. To work with this portal, we required, okay, so we required a portal called to create this account. Once you create this account, you get a portal.azure.com. Okay, so portal.azure.com you will get with the Microsoft account. When you go here fabric.microsoft my fabric.app.fabric app fabric.app.microsoft.com. Okay, .com. You're going to work with entire things inside this portal. Okay, to create this one, first you need to create one account. So let me show you that first. So here you can log in with the portal.azure.com. I'll show you the comparison, sir, why you have compared this all with the one single account. I'll tell you that. So I told you, right? So you just need to purchase the F64 and you can get all kind of bucket. You don't need to pay separately for the data warehouse. You don't need to pay for data mart separately. In terms of you're doing a reporting team, you don't need to do that. Generally, Power BI, what they do, they'll just log in with the Power BI services. Okay. So I'll go through your portal so that you'll have a clear idea picture. Let's see, this is my Fabric, just Azure account. Okay, I'm just logging with Azure account. So you just required one system, one internet, one account. That's it. Sir, I don't have account. I'm going to teach you how to create a free and how you can earn this money. You cannot withdraw this money. You just to have use this one. Okay. So let me log in with my main account. That is okay. Azure BA. Okay. And at parallelly, we will log in with your app.fabric.microsoft.com. Okay. This is my Fabric account and this is my Azure account. So earlier stage in Azure, see, if I want to create a database, I have to go database service. If I want to create a ETL pipelines, I have to create ETL pipelines separately, and cost is also separately. Storage is separately. So anything you want to create, anything you want to work in Azure cloud, there is a separate costing. Sir, where is that costing? Can you please show me? Yes, definitely I'll show you. And similarly, when we talk about the fabric capacities, when we talk about fabric capacities, okay, so let me show you the fabric that Microsoft fabric capacities. So if you see on Azure level, first let's back to the Azure level. What is the disadvantages in Azure? We'll see that. Now, if you see, this is my pay as you go subscription. So what is a subscription? Subscription is nothing but having the account with a subscription. So generally, when you go to the Netflix, Amazon, what you will see without having subscription, you cannot log into that account, right? So here also you have a subscription. You need to take a subscription. So should I pay from pocket? Yes, in case of pay as you go. Pay as you go. When you're going with pay as you go, nothing but you want your own services, then you have to pay. So can I get a free? Yes, definitely. You have one more account called free subscription. Free subscription. What is that? Subscription, right? Yeah. Subscription. Free subscription. This subscription will give you the amount of 200 USD dollar, which is equivalent to in Indian currency 17,000 credits in INR. So you no need to pay from your pocket. When you're going with a free subscription, you are going to get 200 USD dollars up to only 1 month, 30 days. But in terms of Fabric, in terms of Microsoft Fabric, in terms of Microsoft Fabric, in terms of Microsoft Fabric, you're going to get the F64 capacity in terms of free account. Remember this. And this is valid up to 2 months. Sorry, 2 months. And definitely you can have a pay as you go also. You can create your own capacity. If you don't require F64, I just want to go high values, you can use. In this F64, you can have all your services inside your one account, one tenant account. What is a tenant account? I'll tell you. Okay. If you see here, in terms of pricings, so this is my subscription. So this will be more interesting, guys. So I'll show you practical also. So right now you see this is my account, company's account. Okay. And if you see this company's account I generally follow, we take up batches of Azure also. And you can see the invoices. Or if you don't know invoices, this is something like from last 12 months. And you can have a old months also. You can have that invoices, total amount, how much total amount that we got. Each month we have different invoice for Azure. Okay, you want to see this download, you can download and analyze what is that invoice. If you don't know this one, not a problem. I'll show you with the UI also. That is what it give you that interact. So let's see here. This is my invoice for each services. Virtual machine separately I have to pay. Database separately I have to pay. How much configuration I'm using it. Storages I have to pay separately configurations. And you can see each services I'm using it, I am paying a separate band. For data factory ETL, how much time I'm running it in the cloud, what type of data you are running, how much length of the data, what is the volume of the data. And for the Synapse data warehouse analytics, dedicated or serverless pool, we have to pay separately for that based on the data warehouse units. There are some units are there. In terms of SQL database, there is a transactions unit with data warehouse units, SQL unit, analytics units. So these are the different configurations based on that particular month with the date and wise, date time or date wise you have an analysis here. If you're not understanding this picture, not a problem, ignore it. Let's come back to this one, subscription. Just go and see here in a subscription cost analysis. If you click on cost analysis, it will show you the last few months billing. Okay, so mostly we are running on let me take some last 3 months invoices. See, this is my project. And you see this Vinay Tech underscore RG is a project which is charged almost 749 rupees. And that project, can you tell me what are the services you use in this project? If I click on this, it is a drill down analysis. You see this 749, it was drill down analysis on this multiple services. Separately, we are paying for this one, separately paying for this one. Each service I'm paying separately. But, and it is based on the user's capacity on which date was used. In terms of Fabric, we have a capacity unit, CUs, and that works under the SKUs based on one you purchase from F22 or F64 SKUs. So what is that FK units? If you see pricings also, Then I have a pricings also. Okay, if you see the pricings from capacity F2 to F64, these are the capacities. Okay, till F2 2048. So these are the monthly basis capacities. And are you going to pay from? No, as you are going to use a free account. That is free account Microsoft giving you F64 capacity. This capacity they are giving you, and this is more up to free. And that is 2 months we can valid. So when you log into the app.microsoft.com, this is the fabric picture. This is the fabric picture, and this is my workload which we are going to deal in regular classes. This is our workload. What is the workload? This is you can do play with the data engineering, your notebooks by connecting to the multiple storages, ETL pipelines you can develop. You can work with ML model, data learning model, AI model. You can store your data warehouses with a Spark, you can integrate it with Spark as well, with writing some T-SQL queries. Okay, some databases are there, some models are there. You can even develop your reporting and dashboard, and you can use a real-time insights intelligence. So these all are integrated in one single fabric tool. You don't require separately, you need to manage. Okay. So I'm going to show you practically each and every services individually in the next class. Okay. So this is already a one workspace which we already created. In that we have a data flow, lake house, notebooks, multiple notebooks are there, multiple data flows are there, lake houses are there. Practically I'll show you in the next class. Okay. Just remember that instead of using to a multiple services, we are just managing everything inside one capacities inside your Microsoft Fabric. So that give you compatibility to work with all kind of users inside one workspace. If I create one workspace here in my Fabric, this is my workspace. Inside one workspace, people are accessing this all. This one who are interested to work on data flow, they'll go with the data flow. Who works on the notebooks, they will go with the notebooks process. Who are interested in the other process, they'll go with this other process. This is something called Spark integrated. Okay. So by connecting to the lakehouse, by connecting to the warehouse, we can do the analysis. And this is something called one lake. Okay. Again, I'm going to go through all these components in the next class. Okay. So as of now, we have just seen the overview about the fabric. In tomorrow class, we will discuss this all in detail level again. Clear? So any questions so far?